Buffalo is heading to the divisional round. Welcome into Bills Postgame Live. He's Bills Wall of Famer Steve Tasker. I'm your host, Maddy Glab. The Bills offense stayed hot with a run game that could not be stopped and a quarterback in Josh Allen who dished it out to everyone. A 76% completion percentage by Allen. Buffalo defeats Denver 31-7. How did the Bills find success against the NFL's third best defense in Denver?
Well, we knew that Josh was going to be hard to sack. We knew that the Broncos pass rush was going to be really good. And they did get to Josh a couple of times, hit him a couple of times, but they were able to handle the pressure. Josh had some answers. We had one, he had a good answer. Ty Johnson ended up getting hit and getting a penalty that extended the drive. A couple of bad hits in the secondary today, but the Bills got up, one by Taron Johnson coming in, and then the other, of course, on Ty Johnson, or on Ray Davis. So the Bills had a plan for the defense of the Broncos, and they worked their plan to perfection. Josh is hard to sack. That's not going to change. He made him pay a couple of times with his legs. They tried pressure, and the Bills had an answer for it, and that was really the key. When the Broncos tried to do something extra special and get the ball out of there, the Bills had an answer, and they were able to counteract it, get some first downs. The Bills moved the football all the way up and down the field on this team, the Broncos. But the Broncos were stiff in the red zone. They did do really well. In fact, two of the Bills' touchdowns were outside the red zone. So kudos to the Broncos' defense. They were good. But the Bills' offense is a wagon, and they're going to score points. And the Broncos ultimately couldn't get enough points on the board to hang in there.
Denver's defense, who led the NFL in sacks coming into this one with 63, ultimately loses the battle to Buffalo's offensive line, who allowed the fewest amount of sacks this season at just 14. Allen did get brought down a couple times in this game, but he did have time in the pocket. Even when he faced pressure, the decision-making was correct on his end. They leaned on the run game so much throughout this one, and he found a lot of different receivers, which was awesome to see. Josh Allen is on the podium right now, so let's hear from QB1 after this big win.
Ty Johnson seemed to really seal the deal, him going down, scooping the ball off the turf on that fourth down.
Yeah, fourth down, just need to make a play there, and man-to-man, I feel like they played pretty good coverage on some of our underneath routes. I just extended. Ty did what Ty does and made a heck of a play for us.
What advantages did you wanted to see? What advantages did you see in the Broncos defense that you wanted to come out and exploit?
Well, I don't think there was one certain thing over another. We just wanted to come out and execute well. We ran the ball well. Our offensive line did a heck of a job all day. Jimbo ran the ball hard. Ty and Ray, I hate what happened to Ray. I feel like that doesn't happen too often in this offense. I hate that feeling that I have for him right now, but got to see him. He's doing okay. But at the end of the day, we just wanted to come out and play our best football, and I feel like we did that today.
Josh, after the touchdown play, did you feel like you kind of caught a break there? It looked like it was a desperation situation for 7 or 8 seconds there. Do you feel like that was a little bit fortunate that happened that way?
Yeah, I mean, ebbs and flows of a game. Again, we went out there on fourth down, and if we don't get it there, the defense gets the ball, but not great field position. So, yeah, we made a play.
I guess, Josh, the decision.
On the Samuel touchdown, you had that punch on that side. How did that play play out to get Curtis open?
Yeah, was able to get the running back out, and they brought 5. The way that we're doing things right now with motions, and that's a credit to our offensive staff and Joe, scheming some guys open, and Curtis did a great job of using his speed and getting yards after catch and made a play there for us.
Josh, what does it mean to you guys as an offense, though, to have the coach's trust on that situation? 4th and 1, you're only up 6 points.
Yeah.
You could essentially make it a 2-score game, but Sean lets you guys go out there.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of faith in the defense as well, because again, we'd hope to get that 4th and 1 more often than not, but sometimes you don't get it, and your defense goes out there. But again, it's not terrible field position, but it speaks a lot that Coach has that trust in us.
What was going on when the ref came over to talk to you, like all the way to the bench? What was he saying? What was going on?
Was that after? I wasn't happy with what was going on, and I was yelling a little bit, and he just said, Don't be yelling. So, my bad.
Sorry. Did he apologize for the Did he apologize for
I don't say anything about that.
Hey, Josh, talk about the James game today and the running game. I mean, obviously, for the first 2.5 quarters. That was kind of the key to the offense. Just what did you guys see? Why was it working so well?
Yeah, our team did a great job. Our offensive line did a great job of getting looks that we liked and taking advantage of it, and they moved guys off the ball today. Jimbo ran the ball hard, or all of our backs ran the ball hard, and then you incorporate some of the quarterback run stuff, and I think that really messes with the defense of, they were in a really good position sometimes, and our guys just made plays. And that's why we got so much faith in everybody in this room.
Josh, you guys have been pretty efficient when it comes to staying in the moment, next opponent, that type of thing, regardless of the circumstances. Now that you're 7 days into the postseason, can you reflect on the last few days in prep and how maybe things have felt different at all, or is there
I think we're
gear you shift into?
Obviously everything gets heightened, and maybe you watch another couple games of what the defense is doing. But we're not trying to do anything drastically different. We're just trying to go out there and play our best football. We had a really good week of practice. We had a great week of game planning. I thought our offensive staff, again, put in some great plays, as you saw today. But ultimately, it's not the X's and O's, it's the Jimmies and Joes, and guys are ready to go. We got our rest, getting able to kind of not play everybody that last game. Guys were refreshed, and again, we're going to need to get our rest this week. And we got a really, really good Baltimore Ravens team coming here. They put the thumping on us earlier in the year, and we know that, we understand that. So, again, it's the most important game because it's the next one.
How did you digest yesterday's game? Because you got a game to prepare for. Do you watch it? Did you stay away from it?
I didn't watch much of it. You get updates on your phone, but went in. That was the later game, so just tried to sleep and get some rest before this one.
How much playoff experience, Josh, does it allow you to play with patience?
Yeah, I think understanding kind of the ebbs and flows of how the playoffs go, and obviously you just want to be able to give yourself a chance in the third and fourth quarter in the second half, and we felt like we did that today.
Running games seem to get you going. Passing games seem to pick things up as the game went. Balance has been there for you all year. It was once again today. How comforting is it knowing that you have multi-pronged attack to go to?
Yeah, I think I think we only punted once today. The first 3 drives, field goal, touchdown, punt, I believe. That was the first half, and it just felt like it was quick, but we were sustaining drives, and the drives that we didn't sustain, we felt like we were shooting ourselves in the foot, whether it was penalties or what the case may be. So, we were just trying to mix different personnels and switch looks up, and again, that's Joe Brady right there, and him doing what he does best, and he did it well today.
Ability to get after the quarterback was talked about a lot throughout the week and throughout the whole season, really. How important was it to be as good as you were at running the ball, kind of delete them and delete that part of it?
Yeah, when you can get them moving side to side and different looks and guards pulling, tackles pulling, centers pulling, it just gives them a bunch of different things to look at and look and see, and makes them maybe a little hesitant. But that's, again, credit to our guys and our offensive staff, but our line played their tails off today.
Josh, what does it say about the nature of this offense that your leading receiver today in the playoff game is a guy who never led his team in receiving all season, in Curtis Samuel?
Yeah, I'd be the first one to say, I'll speak on behalf of Curtis. He probably didn't have the season that he wanted to have. He was dealing with a few things early on and during the middle of the year. But he kept grinding, kept being quiet, and stayed focused. And, I've never lost any sort of trust in him. And he's just continued to work hard. And that's kind of the mentality that we've had all year is everybody eats, and today was his day. And who knows what's going to be next week, but we got to have a good week of practice first and ready to play on whether it's Saturday or Sunday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that was Bills quarterback Josh Allen speaking to how the run game really brought this offense alive. And early on, it was a little bit tough for Buffalo in the red zone. They were failing to score in the red zone, had to settle for field goals, but they did not take their foot off the gas. They had 4 drives of at least 10 plays. James Cook is a running back that this team relied on throughout the entire game. He was somebody that found the holes, shot through, was a physical running back. We've seen this out of him all season long. Why was he the spark in today's game?
Well, first and foremost, because of the athleticism. He bounced one outside early in the game, got all the way around the corner for a first down. On the first drive, the Bills carved through the Broncos very quickly. They stalled in the red zone. This play right here, he came to the near side and just flat out ran the pursuit in the corner right there on the outside. And then up inside, the offensive line, they set it. They jumped in on it and pushed him clear down the field. This play as well set a physical statement. I think one of the things, too, this willingness by Joe Brady and the commitment by the Bills offense to run the football at the front of the Denver Broncos really didn't let them do what they did best, which is rush the passer. They knew they were going to have to kind of bear up to stop that run game time and time again. And the Bills, at one point, after 5 carries, I think James Cook was averaging 9.1 a carry. They had to do some things differently over on the other side, and those forced adjustments by the Bills' success in the run game really set them up later in the game for a 4-touchdown second half or a 3-touchdown second half. That's what really lit up the Broncos, their ability to run and willingness to run the football. James Cook doesn't get enough credit for how physical he can be up inside and his willingness and his ability to see the weakness and squeeze in and to get some yards they don't think that really wouldn't be coming to him. And then, of course, to bounce it outside and to outrun guys to the edge and get to the corner of the end zone or to the sticks to outrun guys. And when the offensive line does get a crease in there, he's into the secondary so fast, they're on their heels. So and the Bills' ability to do that in the run game with different runs, bounce outs, physical inside runs, plus zone runs where he's got a gap and can use his speed inside. All of that stuff's a big problem for defenses, particularly one that loves to rush the passer. So all of that stuff and their willingness to continue to do it, even when it was a very close game and a must-win game and it's a tight game and you got to win and, oh my gosh, the Broncos are playing good, they hung in there with it knowing they would sooner or later was going to pay dividends, and it did.
The offensive line did a great job of doing the dirty work, keeping the pocket clean enough for Josh Allen to find a receiver or running back in James Cook to make a play, hit a hole, hit a gap. I thought that was very impressive, the job that they did from the beginning of this game. And starting with leaning on the run game, time of possession was such a big lopsided thing in this game. The Bills finished with 41 minutes. The Broncos finished with just 18 minutes. Denver scored on the first drive of this game, and they scored quickly, and you're thinking, man, is this going to be a shootout? And Buffalo started to eat up the clock by running it over and over again. And I think that really helped Buffalo control the clock and say, no, we're gonna put it on our offense to win this game.
Yeah, the Bills were moving the football extremely well, so you knew even if they were going to score, they might score on every possession because they were going to get at least a field goal. They were getting down, pushing down, and if they did squeeze out a touchdown here and there, which they did, obviously, the Broncos needed to keep pace with that. And then all of a sudden, late in the first half and early and through the second half, Denver started to punt, and then they had to punt again. And they had to punt again, and meanwhile, Buffalo was still going, moving the football, getting points out of it, scoring touchdowns, and further away the finish line got for the Broncos until they were never going to reach it.
Denver had back-to-back punts in the third quarter and back-to-back turnover on downs in the fourth quarter. We're talking about the offensive line, so why don't we hear from one of them? Left tackle Dion Dawkins, he was in the locker room after this win.
You feel that you guys as a group won this football game?
No, I think as a Buffalo Bill, we won the football game. You know, there's games where we got to lean more on the O-line, we got to lean more on the D-line, we got to lean more on the quarterback, we got to lean more. You know, our ticket was punched today, and we knew, like, going in, that coach wanted us to run the football and play physical, like, up front.
How do you feel you dictated, then, the terms of this game?
Say it again?
How do you guys feel as an offensive line you dictated the terms of the game?
Yeah, it was, I don't know. You know, like, coming in, like, they were talking about that they had, like, 62 or 63 sacks, and we had the least, and, you know, like, that was in our mind, like, all right, well, we'll see. And the battle was up front. You know, that's what the hype was about. That's what that was. So we got to put on, you know, Dion has to be Dion. Dave, got to be Dave. All the way across.
Guys, we know James is very elusive, but he showed a lot of power today on some of those runs especially. I mean, just kind of take us into how he can kind of do it both ways.
James Cooker, you know. You know my analogies, right? You ready for one?
Let's go.
I mean, he's a chef, right? You got to be able to cook chicken parm, and you got to be able to make mac and cheese. You know, like, you got to be able to do both. man.
Considering how good that
just continues to make plays for you guys, just what did you see on that play? And then as you're watching the replay, what are you thinking?
I said, I had to ask him. I said, Reggie, catch it? I said, bro, did you catch it? He's like, I caught it. I said, well, sheesh. Because I seen him when he was in the end zone, and he kind of was like slow playing it, like as if, is this ball going to me? He put his hands out and caught the ball. I said, yo, you know, when your number is called, answer. You know, that's what ball is. You know, when your number is called, answer.
As good as Benito is a good player. Nick Benito, 15, is a good player. What did you think of just going up against him? The key to containing him.
Containing him?
Yeah.
Rephrase what you're saying.
The key to shutting him down.
There you go. Dion Dawkins.
It seemed like his bull rush.
Yeah. Nah, I'm a keep it a buck, right? But he's a good player. He is a good player. I love the challenge. I love to continue to show the world why I'm the best. You know, I didn't make All-Pro. I didn't make second team. But I'm All-Pro for my team, and that's all that matters. You know, when my number is called, I'm going to answer. Coming in, they said that he was their guy, so I knew that I had a job. I'm not talking down on him. I'm not talking. He's a great player. He played well. His bull rush was very good, and I respect his game. But I know if you ask him, he would say that he respects mine as well.
As good as this defense is on paper, you guys ran for 200 today.
Yeah.
Josh had all day to throw. Is this about as good as this offensive line has played?
Every game, you'll see our best game. You know, we're taught to get better over time, and every game you should see a better version of us as we go and craft and put our best performance in front of us. But yes, every game we should get better, and this is one of our better ones, you know, and I'm just thankful that it was in the playoffs. A lot of good things happened today. You know, everybody's going to be happy for the next 24 hours, and then we'll get to it because we have the Ravens coming in.
What are your initial thoughts on getting another crack at Baltimore?
I don't see it at that, you know. It's playoff ball, man. We got to be ready. We got to be ready, you know. We know what the Ravens are, and we can't sugarcoat it. They're one of the best teams in the NFL. They have one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, and we understand. And we just know that we have to come with our A game, play well up front, play well on offense, play well on defense, play well on special teams, and that'll just give us a chance, you know. And that's all we need is a chance. But I'm happy that we got the win today, and we'll see those guys, and hopefully we.
The way you guys weathered the opening touchdown and didn't flinch at all, is that going to speak to how important playoff experience is this time of year?
Yeah, yeah, it will. Starting fast is a beautiful way to start a football game, if I'm answering the question correct. But starting fast is a beautiful way to get into the football game.
I think I'm more talking about Denver scores first, and you guys as a team didn't affect it all.
That's just the don't blink mentality. It's playoff ball. They're going to score, we're going to score. They're going to score, we're going to score. I would love for it to be a donut. It's not going to happen. They're in the playoffs for a reason. No matter what team it is, no matter where they're ranked, good on good. Playoff ball, everybody is starting that race at the same time. Some people started yesterday on Saturday. Some people started today on Sunday. And that's just what playoff ball is. Anybody can do anything at any point in time. So have your head on a swivel and be ready to adapt when you might get punched a little bit.
Cool. Thanks, Dion.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
All right, it's time for this week's Player Spotlight. It's presented by Microsoft Surface. Microsoft Surface is the official tablet and sideline technology of the Buffalo Bills. You already know who we're highlighting. It's our running back, James Cook, 23 attempts, 120 rushing yards, 1 touchdown on the ground. He averaged 5.2 yards per rush. How are we seeing this running back grow this season, Steve?
Well, opportunity is great. They have grown to trust him more and more, plus depend on him in spots where earlier in his career, they wouldn't even give him the ball.
Yeah.
And now he is the go-to. This physical run down inside, we pushed it over midfield on just a short yardage run down inside, trying to get it, just kind of grind out a first run out of a classic I formation. You never see NFL teams run the old I. Reggie Gilliam in the backfield as a fullback, and presto changeo, there we go. This run down inside as well, just cutting it back, and then physically running through the tackle, the inside linebacker, and dragging him the last 4 yards into the end zone. Just a really physical run. He has been, I think, an underappreciated workhorse for one of the best offenses in the league. The Bills are number 2 in scoring over the course of the regular season. James Cook has been a big part of it. He was tied for the league lead and led the league in rushing touchdowns for a good portion of it. Was right at the league lead at the end of the regular season. Got another one today. Just really productive. They have also they started to really think about load management with him. He's so important. Now they get Ty Johnson thrown in there and Ray Davis as well. He's so important. Sometimes they don't want him to do everything. They don't leave him in for 3 downs, right? So they keep him fresh. They throw him the football some, but now he's turning into like a Jim Brown type of back where they give him the ball on 1st and 10 and on 3rd and short and all that. And then they bring in Ty Johnson as a 3rd down back, so they never throw him the football anymore. We know he can do that. We've seen him do it, and I'm sure, given the opportunity, he'll do it extremely well. He's emerged as not a very big, but a power, physical running back who can bounce it outside and outrun the defense. It's hard to find those guys. The offensive line's playing perfect. They're meshed extremely well together. He has really, really made the most of this season over the opportunities the Bills have given him, and he's grown into a running back. Not all-around running. He is an all-around running back, but, man, he is a running back. And they are handing him the ball a ton, and it's fun to see. He had 23 attempts today, which is a lot in the NFL, particularly since they also gave Ty Johnson 9.
Yeah.
So it says something about how much faith he's earned from this coaching staff and the productivity that he's had. I mean, he had averaged 5.2 for the day today, and at one point it was 9.1. So I know Sean McDermott is talking to Joe Brady between series and said, "It ain't broke. Don't fix it. Keep giving it to him." Yeah. And, they got Josh Allen back there. He's completing 79% of his passes today. No, hand it to James. It's unbelievable. That's how good he has been. That's why this offense is a handful to defend.
Exactly. It's not just James Cook. What makes Buffalo's offense so hard to stop is the versatility they have in the running back room. You have James Cook go off for more than 100 rushing yards, and then you have his teammate and running back in Ty Johnson, who catches a 4th and 1 touchdown pass from Josh Allen.
25-yard
The game was on the line at this point. It was 13-7.
Yeah.
Allen was waiting in the pocket for what seemed like forever and finds Johnson in the back of the end zone. Johnson scoops the ball to protect it from hitting the ground, and his knee was so close to hitting the out-of-bounds line, was able to keep it inbounds. These running backs for Buffalo are so hard to stop, and it makes defenses really have to prepare for everything.
Yeah, it really has. It's been phenomenal to watch. We were talking, Maddy and I, in the break. 8 guys got targeted today. All of the 8 had a reception.
Yeah.
And there were only 3 incompletions credited to. No, I'm sorry, 2 incompletions credited to the wide receivers. Amari had 3 targets for 2 receptions. Matt Collins had 2 targets for 1 reception. Everybody else had 100% reception rate because Josh had a couple of throwaway. There was only 4 incompletions for the Bills all day. And all 4 of them were either throws in the dirt by Josh on a screen pass or 2 thrown out of bounds in the end zone. That's 3 of the incompletions right there. And the 4th one, I'd go back and have to look at it. But a dirted screen pass and 2 overthrows deliberately. One on the first drive when he was going to try to get it in, and he saw the linebacker move under. He just said, and threw it 6 feet over everybody's head. Everybody's involved in this. And we saw even Dalton Kincaid on the long throw, which probably shouldn't have been a catch. He got credited with the catch. People don't know this. The receivers, the running backs, everybody who catches passes in the NFL, they have a body language and a signal that will tell the quarterback and the offensive coordinator, I didn't catch it. We better go fast. Whatever his signal is, you don't want to do it. You don't want to make it really obvious because then the other team
will. If I touch my left knee.
Right. If he does, if he gives like this, like that, or whatever the signal might be, They got the signal fast, quick snapped it, and the replay showed that Dalton Kincaid really shouldn't have caught that ball, but because of their discipline and their communication and knowing what's going on, the lights being on in everybody's helmet, they get the next play off, they get the big gain, and they go off and run. So everybody is really on point right now. From the guys who are getting one target and catching it to the guys who are getting 6 targets and catching all of them. They're hitting on all cylinders. And James Cook running the football the way he is, and this offense, we heard from Dion Dawkins, this offensive line is really playing extremely well. You should have seen we should have seen my timeline on the broadcast. As soon as Alec Anderson went into the locker room with a calf injury, the sky was falling for your 6th offensive lineman. That's how well the offensive line is playing. Everybody knows how much. Yeah, everybody knows how much of a contribution all of these guys individually make.
Yeah, it's been so fun to watch the offensive line. Hey, what an efficient game by Buffalo's offense. No turnovers on their end. A 135 passer rating by our quarterback, Josh Allen. You don't get to 31-7 without the defense, though, so it's time to give them some love. Taron Johnson in the locker room after this one.
All year. You guys held them to 2 of 9. What was the key there? Man, we just did a good job with the rush, the coverage, Bobby putting us in great positions. It was a combination of all 3 things, you know, because there's times where sometimes the coverage isn't that well, sometimes the rush isn't that well, but, I mean, we just did a good job of playing team defense.
What were the conversations as a veteran group that's been together after kind of taking that first blow and knowing it's just early in the game and being able to quickly turn the page, as you said?
The conversations are like move on. You know what I'm saying? Like I said before, you got to have a short memory, and we have that on our T-Rap or whoever DM. They don't blink. Something like that happens. They just correct it and continue to progress throughout the game.
Early thirds on facing the Ravens again next weekend?
It's a good team, you know what I'm saying? Just making sure that we're doing everything we can throughout the week to be as prepared as possible.
Taron, third downs, run defense has run a little bit high both times this season. Those, were question marks coming in. You seem to answer both of those questions emphatically today. How much of a message do you feel like you sent, even if it was just to the guys within this room?
Yeah, I mean, it was a big message, but at the end of the day, we got to do it again. You know what I'm saying? We did what we did, moved on. So at this point, it's about doing it again.
How are you feeling?
I feel good. Yeah, I feel good.
How do you do it? How do you sustain this kind of performance and keep it going into next week against, a tougher opponent?
Yeah, I feel like we watch the tape, see what's going on. What do we succeed at? What do we still need to work on? You know what I'm saying? But I feel like we do that, we'll repeat it.
Matt Milano was used as a spy equipment today, and he had another nice step as far as how well he played today. What did you see from him out there and helping out defense?
Just being a playmaker, not letting the quarterback get out, and that was a huge key to the victory. And yeah, we'll continue to do that, and he's only going to continue to get better.
It was a scary hit that you took. Was that more of a neck or was it a head situation?
It was more of a neck. I'm sore, but I'm fine.
Thanks, Taron.
Yep. Y'all have a good one.
This week's Player Spotlight, just kidding, we are moving into Northtown Automotive. We got to highlight them because they are a proud sponsor of this year's playoffs. It's Northtown Automotive Group. Whatever you're looking for, you'll find it at Northtown, the official automotive dealer of the Buffalo Bills. We just heard from Taron Johnson in the locker room. He had a scary hit in this one early on in the game, was cleared to return, was originally cleared from a concussion, and then it was a neck injury. Can he go with this neck injury? We saw him run out of the tunnel, get his helmet, and in he went back into the game. It just showcases how tough this defense is as a whole. And Taron Johnson was talking about one of our linebackers, and Matt Milano, who had a big sack on Bo Nix on 3rd down in this game. This was a Broncos offense, 10th in the NFL, averaging 25 points per game. Bo Nix, a rookie quarterback, really doesn't look like a rookie this season at all. Top 10 in passing touchdowns or in total touchdowns with 34. What did this defense do to stop an offense that had the capability of going off?
Well, it came down to their ability to cover up in the back end. Their offensive line did a nice job, and Bo Nix is a lot like Josh. He's hard to sack. I think the one thing that came as a surprise early in the game on a 3rd down, Bo Nix tried to break contain, and during the week on a regular show, I had said not only does Bo Nix run, he outruns. He's fast. Bo Nix is a really good athlete. When Bo Nix got out of the pocket on that 3rd down, Matt Milano ran him down. cut off the angle. Bo Nix couldn't get around him and had to take the fourth down and 4th and 3. He couldn't get to the first down. This play right here. That, I think, was the surprise for Bo Nix as he broke contain. He didn't think there was a linebacker that was going to be able to catch him. Then later on, Greg Rousseau got his sack during this game to ice this game around and put the game away. Yeah, but I think this defense, one of the things it was able to do was cover up enough in the back end, make Bo Nix move around a little bit. Early on, they struggled in doing that, and then they finally got a handle on it. Certainly, there was a miscommunication on the long touchdown on their first drive because you could see Taylor Rapp and Rasul Douglas make eye contact and do some gesturing about talking about what they were seeing, and they got that buttoned up, and it didn't happen again. So that's the kind of communication. You just got to move on, and Taron said it beautifully. Yeah, bad things are going to happen. You're playing in the playoffs. That team is good, and when you get nicked, you can't think they've got you. You just go, all right, we got it. Just let's keep moving forward. Here's what happened on that. Let's move forward. That's hard to do sometimes, particularly in an all-or-nothing game. The Bills have enough veterans back there, particularly guys like Rasul and Taron, to say, no, we're all right. We're all right. And that's what happened. They made some adjustments. Bob Babich started making some different calls, and then, as you said earlier, 2 punts in the third quarter, and then 2 turnovers on downs in the fourth, and that was the game.
That's how Denver's entire second half went. It was punt, turnover downs, turnover on downs. Buffalo's defensive coordinator, Bobby Babich, has done a great job all season of fixing whatever has happened in the first half, and it doesn't happen in the second half. They really clamp down on things, and you saw that out of Buffalo's defense today against the Broncos. Denver goes 2 of 9 on third down, just 22%, which is such an exciting thing to see on the stat line because Buffalo's defense has struggled all season shutting a team down on third down, getting off the field. They ranked 29th going into this game and did a great job getting off the field on third down.
Yeah, they did. The Bills were 8 of 15, 53% staying on the field. And it's a huge boost.
Yes.
And we were talking about this, and that's one of the things you talk about a lot in these big matchups like this, in these playoff matchups. One team has got to have the ability to make the other team do something they're not good at. The Bills being good on third down really brought the Broncos into sharp focus. They couldn't stay on the field in third down. They couldn't shorten the game. They couldn't hang on to the football. They end up with 18 minutes of time of possession. And the Bills on third down offensively, they were 2 of 2 on fourth down, 8 of 15 on third down. So that means they were 10 of 15.
Put it together.
Yeah. They couldn't get them off the field. Now, their red zone defense, the Broncos, I think, did a nice job of that. The Bills got a couple, 2 or 3 long touchdowns, and that was the difference in the game as well. I told you I was going to hammer this tonight, and tonight we always say it every week. There's something that Josh did. Today he became he has the most rushing yards by any quarterback in NFL playoff history. In NFL history, in the playoffs, no quarterback has run for more yards than Josh Allen. There's 2 things. 1, a guy can run with it really well, and 2, he's in the playoffs a lot.
Yes.
And that's what it takes. Today also, he set a Buffalo Bills franchise record for touchdown passes in the playoffs. He passed Jim Kelly for that. Those are all-time numbers. I've said it early. For the first time in his career, I said it once earlier this season. I said he, Pat Mahomes, Lamar Jackson certainly. We got 3 guys in this conference that are on Hall of Fame trajectories. Hall of Fame trajectories. That's how good they're all-timers. Lamar and Josh are facing off this next week here in Buffalo. Pat's going to get C.J. Stroud down in Kansas City. We've got all-timers at the top of the AFC conference right now. Joe Burrow, you can talk about being in that conversation, although his team let him down a little bit this year and got off to a slow start and they couldn't overcome it. We got some all-timers in this conference, led by Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. Josh today, another historic mark set by him in his career. He's an absolute all-timer, and he's playing in a group of guys that at this point in history, there's never been a threesome like this, maybe since Elway, Marino, and Kelly in the AFC.
Josh Allen turns it on in the playoffs. He becomes a different version of himself, if that's even possible. He's wrecks games during the regular season against defenses, and then in the playoffs, he levels up. He told Tracy Wolfson, the CBS sideline reporter, "I am my best version of myself right now. That's why we're having such a good season." Heading into the playoffs, Allen averages more than 330 total yards of offense, 2.7 touchdowns per game. He goes 318 offensive yards in this one and 2 touchdowns, a 135 passer rating. What a performance by him. He looked calm, cool, collected in the pocket, knew where to go to, and got a bunch of guys involved.
And he did it against the best pass rush in the NFL.
Yeah.
That's right where you want to be, and it spells good things going forward. I know a lot of Bills fans. This is a fan base now who has the utmost respect for the Baltimore Ravens. They know what kind of regular season the Buffalo Bills have put together. Josh and this offense have been scoring points. They've been doing all kinds of things. Josh has been in the middle of, if not the front runner for the MVP the entire season. This Baltimore team lumped them up, and they've got them coming in now in Buffalo. And this Bills fan got a lot of respect for this Baltimore Ravens franchise and their quarterback and this team. It's going to be an incredible week leading up to this one.
Buffalo is 5-0 in their last 5 wild card appearances. They now score at least 30 points in 13 games this season. Our head coach, Sean McDermott, is on the podium after this one. Let's hear what he had to say.
All right, good win. Anytime you can win, it's a good win, especially in the playoffs. At home, great environment. Appreciate the fans, man. They're just incredible. Every week, every time we play here. It was good to see our team come out. We knew it was going to be a battle, and it was. They're a well-coached team, a lot of talent. I thought our players played extremely well, especially in the third and in the fourth quarter, and played good complementary football. Took care of the ball. The line of scrimmage was the way it needed to be for us to win, and that's an important facet for us every week. So time is yours.
Sean, the 2 touchdowns, can you walk us through what you saw on Ty's touchdown and then Curtis's touchdown?
What I saw? Well, probably like you on Ty's touchdown, I was going, oh, come on. Oh, yeah, good. So the review was important right there, too, I know. Ty's just, he makes plays. He makes plays. And Josh has a lot of trust in him, as you saw. And then Curtis, it just feels good for Curtis, right? I feel good for Curtis. I know the locker room does. He's been working so hard all year. He's been dealing, working through some injuries every week, and to come out and do what he did. I really believe it was last week going out there and playing in that game set him up for success this week. Because if you kind of drop yourself back in after being out, whatever it would have been, having not played last week, it's not the same. So I think he gained some confidence from going out there last week.
John, a lot was said about the defense, some perceived struggles. To give up that bomb touchdown to lead things off and then to buckle down, not giving anything up the rest of the game, what does that say about this unit?
Yeah, made good adjustments. They're resilient. They're intent on trying to get better every week. And that's I think their goal, and starts up front. You got to have it up front, and starts in the at the line of scrimmage in the run game, and then you go from there.
John, obviously the throw to Johnson, that's a play an MVP candidate will make. But do you also feel like you kind of caught a break there, a little bit of luck involved?
4th and 1. It was 4th and 1. So we threw it. How far down the field was it?
25 yards.
Yeah. So, hey, you tell me it's complete, I'm going to sign up for it every week. But those are the look. I trust Josh. You guys know that. I trust him, and I believe in him. So that's where that is.
The running game got going really from the start. How impressed were you with your O-line, the creases they got?
Yeah, huge. Weren't getting as much in the pass game early. I mean, they lead the league in sacks coming into the game, and so we knew it was going to be tough. I thought our offensive line and O-line, the tight ends are blocking in there. Receivers are blocking. It's a full team affair right there in terms of that run game.
Would you say there was a little bit of
possession? I think it was 39.
39. Yeah. Yeah,
Is that coincidental? I mean, there was that. Did you want to go methodical, slow, draw it out like that?
No, I mean, not exactly. I mean, you try and move the ball and be efficient on offense, and then find some explosives somewhere in there, Tim. And we were able to do that by getting Curtis free. I think that was the third quarter there. So that was a big play for us.
Part of the running game success, did you maybe take advantage of their aggressiveness up front? I mean, they blitz a lot. They're were you trying to catch them in some fits maybe?
Well, I mean, they have a certain front that they use quite a bit, and they're, like I said, they're twitchy, long, explosive. They've been a great defense really the entire season. So, again, this was a good team win. Offensively, defensively, and special teams. So all three had their moments that they want back, and all three, I thought, really played at a high level when they needed to.
John, you saw a pattern of you guys second half. You've seen it all season consistently. What is it about your team that makes them such a good third and fourth quarter team?
Well, I got to give credit to the coaches. They do a great job. Making those adjustments is important at halftime or even hopefully before half if we can, ideally. Not always able to, but and the players do a great job of absorbing the information in a short amount of time and going out and executing. I mean, even our first drive today, coming out after half, I think led to 3. We wanted to get 7 naturally. But I like the way we moved the football to get down into the red zone. Would love to have seen us cash in there in the red zone, but we move forward.
Coach, I want to talk about the balance you had on offense. Over 200 yards on the ground, led by James Cook.
Yeah, I mean, again, just the line of scrimmage is huge every week, and I thought Coach Cromer, Coach Gund, and Joe, put their collective heads together. Coach Boris is involved in that as well, and Skip, and came up with a good plan. And when you're able to do that, it certainly helps the entire offense.
Did you see something different in Matt today, Matt Milano? Seemed like he was flying around.
Yeah, I mean, he just the week he had this week leading up to the game, just his confidence continues to grow each and every week. If you look at it just holistically, it's been a while since he's played, and giving him a little bit of grace, and I think giving himself some grace is important, right? And just knowing it's going to come, and you're starting to see it. So it was good to have him out there today.
If you weren't coaching in the game next week, would you want to buy a ticket to watch Lamar and Josh Blake?
Yeah, I mean, this is what everyone's been waiting for, right? So it'll be a nice week, and everyone will be looking forward to it. And they're a great football team, right? I mean, they handled us pretty good the first go around, and they're certainly playing well coached. John's won a Super Bowl and comes from great pedigree, so it'll be a big challenge for us.
Is that a distinctly difficult week of prep just because of everything that Lamar can present?
You said it. Yeah, you said it. So I'm trying to figure out if I need to go back over there now or if but yeah, we'll see. We got to have a great week. We need to get our rest. There's a potential in a short week. And I got to play our best football. That's what you got to do this time of year.
You talked about the adjustments on defense. What do you think maybe kind of pinpoint to allow you guys to pitch that shutout the last 3 quarters plus?
Say that again.
Your defense made the adjustments you talked about. Can you pinpoint anything that allowed you to pitch a shutout for over 3 quarters?
Well, I think third downs, third downs were big in the I think really since that first conversion on that first scoring drive that they had, and you got to get off the field on third down. I thought we were pretty darn good at it. I think we ended up they ended up 2 for 9, so we'll take that.
Okay.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you, Sean.
All right, that was Bills head coach Sean McDermott, and coming up, a matchup that everybody is awaiting. It's a matchup that if you're a football fan, you want to watch it because it's Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson going at it. The Ravens have had an incredible offense this season with Lamar running the show, but you also have Derrick Henry. The Bills have had an amazing offense this year, second best in the NFL, thanks to Josh Allen and a cast of characters that that can add to the game in so many different ways. When you think about this matchup, Steve, what comes to mind first?
Well, both offenses, the Bills are number 2 in scoring behind Detroit, and Baltimore's number 3. The Baltimore Ravens struggled defensively early in the seasons. They got it together, and now in the second half of the season, they're as good as any defense in the league as well. So you got to look and hopefully get a kind of performance from the Bills defense that you got today against a much, much better offense next week in Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. I think when you look and try and handicap this game and look at all 4 sides of the ball, the Ravens offense and defense and the Bills offense and defense, the Bills defense is the one that has the most question marks about it. They struggle more on third down. They struggled mightily to stop the run against the Ravens, although most teams do struggle to stop the run against the Ravens. But if you look at it, that's what it's going to be. Buffalo's their best when they can churn out some turnovers and make a couple of plays, but they have not been a stifling defense. The Ravens have become more of that in the second half of this season because of the personnel changes they made and the way they've played. It has just escalated for them. So on both sides of the ball, the Ravens are playing as good as they can play right now. The Bills got a great performance from their defense today, but it was against a fair to middling NFL offense in the Denver Broncos. That's going to be the big question mark getting through this week. Can the Bills find a way to stop one of the most unique and powerful and productive offenses the league has seen in a while? And that's the Baltimore Ravens.
How does it help the fact that Buffalo has faced this team once already this season?
Help. It does help. Particularly, I think it works for Buffalo in the fact that they got lumped up by these guys. So they're going to be highly motivated, and they're going to learn some hard lessons. The last thing you want to do as an NFL franchise, go into a playoff game and get embarrassed. I think they did a little bit in week 4 of this season where the Ravens beat them 35-10 in Baltimore. It was a thumping, and the Bills had absolutely no answer for the physicality of the Ravens. They just absolutely ran through them. Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, the Bills couldn't get them off the field. It was a much more dominating performance than the Bills put on today against the Broncos on a 31-7 win. This game was closer than the first Bills-Ravens game was. So the Bills are going to watch that film. I'm sure they've had conversations at this point going into it. Now, the Bills will have 4 interior defenders that will be on the field they didn't have in that first game. They're going to have Milano. They're going to have Taylor Rapp, and I think maybe even Terrell Bernard was off of the field in that game, but and another defensive tackle as well. So they had some defenders that were not in the rotation that game. Nevertheless, it's going to be a tussle, and the Bills are going to have to really bear up to hold their own against this Ravens offense because it's something special.
Yeah, facing a Ravens offense that's tough to stop with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. It's good that Buffalo allowed just 7 points on defense in today's game, held the Broncos to just 2 of 9 on third down, and pitched a shutout for the final 3 quarters of this game. That's exactly what you want to see heading into a matchup with an offense that the Ravens have that is really hard to stop at times.
Yeah, the Ravens are just like the Bills. They're an absolute wagon offensively. You're either going to have to Well, you are. You're going to have to get a stop here and there. Even if they drop a pass to go off on 3rd and long, that they would have converted. That you got to count that as a stop. But I think both these offenses, the way they're playing now, this is a game that is going to be mid-20s to 30, 25 to 35 point range for both these clubs. You're not going to hold both of them off the scoreboard. And at some point, you're going to have to keep up offensively. If your defense gives up a big play or a long drive or whatever, you're going to have to answer it as an offense. So it's going to be on.
It might be a 10-round fight where you score, the other team scores, you score, the other team scores. Can the Bills force a takeaway on defense? You think about takeaways in this one, it might be really important, and it might factor into the final score, definitely. Time of possession as well. Buffalo controlled the time of possession tonight, 41 minutes to just 18 minutes on Denver's end of things. We want to thank you for tuning into Bills Postgame Live. For Steve Tasker, I'm Maddy Glab. We'll see you next week after the divisional round.